ngarimutsikira umuntu agakira Yesu aramubwira ati kira 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 Yesu arakubwira ati kira 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 nabishatse Yesu arakubwira ati kira 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 nabishatse Yesu arababwira ati kira 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 nabishatse Yesu arababwira ati kira 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 kira
PACIS TV, the #1 Catholic television in Africa.
PACIS TV, ta vie renouvelée en Jésus-Christ.
A very good evening to you and welcome back on PACIS TV English News. My name is Benjamin Kwizera and these are top stories tonight. Some women leaders known as Zibamutima Urugo in Muhanga district say they are committed to fulfilling their 2026-2027 target of supporting 8 vulnerable households in every village, helping them to improve their living conditions. According to the National Identification Agency, NIDA, Zibamutima Urugo in Muhanga district say that they are committed to fulfilling their 2026-2027 target of supporting 8 vulnerable households in every village, helping them to improve their living conditions. The women say they will encourage the beneficiaries to engage in productive work and become self-reliant instead of waiting for assistance or constantly relying on others. News in details. Some women leaders known as Zibamutima Urugo in Muhanga district say they are committed to fulfilling their 2026-2027 target of supporting 8 vulnerable households in every village, helping them to improve their living conditions. The women say they will encourage the beneficiaries to engage in productive work and become self-reliant instead of waiting for assistance or constantly relying on others. They made the remarks on Monday during the General Assembly of the National Women's Council in Muhanga district. The Zibamutima Urugo representatives from across the district were recognized for their contribution to improving the living conditions of residents over the past 5 years. They were also presented with a new target for 2026-2027, which requires them to support 8 vulnerable households in every village. Following this commitment, the women leaders said they intend to work together with Zibamutima Urugo representatives to ensure the target is achieved. Their commitment is supported by Mukasekuru Marceline, the coordinator of National Women's Council in Muhanga district, who assured Zibamutima Urugo of continued cooperation in implementing the target. She said the initiative will focus on empowering the selected households and changing their mindset so that they embrace productive work and activities that can improve their livelihoods. Mukasekuru also commended Muhanga district partners for their contribution to achieving the targets set by Zibamutima Urugo over the past 5 years. She said that during the 2026-2027 fiscal year, the initiative aims to help more than 1,500 households across all villages in Muhanga district to move out of poverty. Well, according to the National Identification Agency NIDA, more than 8 million people have already been registered, including more than 7 million who have been photographed for the production of their digital identity card. Registration and photography operations are currently continuing in different parts of the country, particularly in northern and western provinces. News in details. According to the National Identification Agency NIDA, more than 80 million people have already been registered, including more than 7 million who have been photographed for the production of their digital identity card. Legislation and photography operations are currently continuing in different parts of the country, particularly in northern and western province. In Gakenke, Karongi, Gicumbi and Rutsiro, NIDA teams are continuing the operations, with the next phase also scheduled to take place in Rulindo district. They stated that the target is to photograph more than 14 million citizens before the current identity cards are gradually phased out in June 2027. However, some challenges are still slowing down the participation of citizens. NIDA says this includes incomplete or incorrect civil registration information. The issue particularly affects some children who have not yet been registered in the civil registry or whose personal information contains errors. Parents concerned are therefore encouraged to quickly regularize their children's information at their respective sectors before the teams responsible for photography arrive. Citizens can also use the Irembo platform to check their certain personal information and request corrections, particularly in cases involving errors in date of birth. The future digital identity card is expected to make access to services easier while giving citizens greater control over their personal data. According to authorities, users will be able to provide only the information required for particular services, rather than routinely presenting all the information contained on their identity card. Well, in Nyamasheke district, young people in Nyabitekeri and Shangi sector of Nyamasheke district say unemployment has pushed them to create their own jobs through farming and livestock farming as a way of earning a living and fighting poverty among the youth. More report. Young people in Nyabitekeri and Shangi sectors of Nyamasheke district say unemployment has pushed them to create their own jobs through farming and livestock farming as a way of earning a living and fighting against poverty among the youth. Some of the young people who spoke said that they decided to engage in agriculture and livestock farming after facing difficulties finding employment. Many of them are school dropouts who chose to pursue farming rather than move to cities in search of jobs without having the necessary skills or qualifications. Kubwimana Alexis, a resident of Kinungaser in Nyabitekeri sector, said it took him 3 years after leaving school to decide to pursue farming and livestock farming, occupations that many young people still consider unattractive. He said poverty and lack of employment motivated him to turn to agriculture. After leaving school and failing to find a job, he began growing tree tomatoes, fruits, and tomatoes. The income he earned from farming helped him to meet his basic needs and become financially independent. According to these young people, determination and willingness to work are more important, as young people can succeed and achieve their goals wherever they choose to establish themselves. Nyamasheke district authorities are also urging young people to avoid harmful behaviors and instead engage in productive activities that can help them to improve their livelihoods. The authorities particularly warn against excessive alcohol consumption, which they say can undermine young people's health, economic well-being, and prospects for future development. Well, in a bid to promote unity, fraternity, and peace, Cyangugu Cathedral Parish has launched a sports championship bringing together different parish choirs. The initiative is aimed at strengthening fellowship, friendship, and a good character in the relations among choir members. More reports. In a bid to promote unity, fraternity, and peace, Cyangugu Cathedral Parish has launched a sports championship bringing together different parish choirs. The initiative is aimed at strengthening fellowship, friendship, and good relations among choir members. The program also encourages singers to put into practice the messages they share through their songs by complementing them with acts of love, fellowship, and recreation. The initiative is in line with the 2026 pastoral theme of the Catholic Diocese of Cyangugu, which calls for the promotion of peace, unity, and reconciliation. The championship was officially launched this Sunday with choirs from Cyangugu Cathedral Parish set to compete in a series of sporting activities designed to reinforce the diocese's mission of promoting fraternity, unity, and peace. Some members of the choirs that took part in the opening match expressed their excitement about the initiative, saying the games will give them an opportunity to get to know one another better while strengthening unity and friendship among the different choirs. Maniriho Jean David, a member of Parish's Music Commission Committee responsible for organizing the championship, said the initiative was introduced to support the diocese's pastoral mission of the year. He explained that the games also provide an important opportunity for different choirs to come together, socialize, build stronger relationships, and further strengthen the spirit of unity among them. Richard Ishimwe, chairperson of the Music Commission at Cyangugu Cathedral Parish, told the PACIS TV that the championship was organized for several reasons, including recreation and strengthening fraternity among the choirs, while putting into practices the pastoral message guiding the Catholic Diocese of Cyangugu this year. The championship, which began at Cyangugu Cathedral Parish, is expected to run until November, when the parish will celebrate the feast of Saint Cecilia, the patron saint of musicians and singers. The pastoral theme of the Catholic Diocese of Cyangugu for this year is Fraternity in Christ, the source of unity, reconciliation, and peace. Well, welcome to our...
Burya aho inzozi z'umwana zitangirira ni mu ishuri ritanga uburezi bufite ireme. Iryo shuri nta rindi ritari Ecole Saint-Anibal.
Ishuri Saint-Anibal ubu ryatangiye kwandika abanyeshuri bazaryigamo umwaka w'amashuri wa 2026-2027.
Twakira abana guhera muri materineri ya mbere, iya kabiri n'iya gatatu, ndetse no mu mashuri abanza kuva mu mwaka wa mbere kugeza mu mwaka wa gatanu.
Muri Ecole Saint-Anibal abana bahabwa uburere n'ubumenyi bufite ireme. Akarusho ku mwana wize muri iki kigo kandi nuko abadudubiza Icyongereza n'Igifaransa.
Kubira ishuri ari ry'abapadiri b'abarogationiste bituma umwana uharerewe akurana indangagaciro za gikristu.
Ushaka kwandikisha umwana wawe tugana Ibwerankori ahazwi nka Kimisange, ni mu murenge wa Kigarama mu karere ka Kicukiro. Dukora kuva ku wa mbere kugera ku wa gatanu mu masaha ya mbere ya saa sita.
Ku bindi bisobanuro wahamagara kuri telefone ubona kuri ekara yawe. Tegura hazaza heza h'umwana wawe umujyana muri Ecole Saint-Anibal.
Yemwe byashuri bose bashaka ni College Fondation Sina Gerard.
Mama we.
Iri ni ishuri ribumbatiye icyerekezo cy'u Rwanda twifuza, kuko ritanga uburezi buhamye mu mashuri y'inshuke, abanza, icyiciro rusange ndetse n'amashami y'imyuga n'ubumenyingiro mu buhinzi, ubworozi, food processing, ubwubatsi, ubukanishi bw'ibinyabiziga, fashion design, gutunganya imisatsi, ububaji n'ubusuderi. Hari n'amasomo y'igihe gito short courses mu mashami yavuzwe haruguru aherekezwa na practice zihagije, kuko abanyeshuri bigira mu nganda za Sina Gerard. Sina Gerard International Football Academy yigisha abana guhera ku myaka 6 gucunga ruhago sawa sawa, atletisme, imbyino nyarwanda no kwiga amategeko y'umuhanda no gutwara ibinyabiziga nabyo biri mu nyongera y'amasomo. Abana biga amashuri y'incuke n'abanza basoza ibyo byiciro bose bazi gutwara igare. Umwana wa segonderi we atahana uruhusa rwo gutwara ibinyabiziga. Witinda kwandikisha umwana ku ishuri kuri Nyirangarama cyangwa ku mashami ya Sina Gerard Entreprise Urwibutso hose mu gihugu. Ku bindi bisobanuro hamagara 0788535123 cyangwa 0788535999.
College Fondation Sina Gerard.
Twubaka ubukungu bushingiye ku bumenyi.
Bakerarugendo namwe bashyitsi mugenda mu karere ka Muhanga no mu tundi turere two mu ntara y'Amajyepfo n'intara y'Iburengerazuba, namwe mwese mukeneye serivisi za hotel, ni muze nimugera mu mujyi wa Muhanga mukomeze gato. Nimugera i Kabgayi murahasanga hotel yiteguye kubakirana urugwiro. Iyo nta yindi ni Hotel Saint-Andre Kabgayi. Hotel Saint-Andre Kabgayi tugufitiye serivisi zitandukanye za bar na restaurant, kandi zitanga ubuhanga n'icyubahiro ku mukiriya utugana. Tubafitiye kandi imikino itandukanye ifasha abatugana kuruhuka nka pisine wogeramo ukaruhuka mu mutwe, imyicungo igezweho abana bidagaduriramo bagataha banezerewe, tenisi na table game bakunze kwita biyari, igisoro ndetse na volley yo ku mucanga bakunze kwita beach volley mukunda muri benshi nayo ntitwayibagiwe. Ikindi nuko muri hoteli Setandre Kabgayi twakira inama zitandukanye kuko tubafitiye ibyumba byiza by'inama utasanga ahandi, byaba bito ndetse n'ibishobora kwakira abantu benshi, ariko by'akarusho tukaba tubafasha no gukora inama mukoresheje ikoranabuhanga mu gihe mutari kumwe mu cyumba. Kubifuza serivisi za catering Hotel Setandre Kabgayi, amafunguro n'ibinyobwa tubibagerezaho ku gihe. Tubafitiye ibyumba byiza byagutse biri mu byiciro bitandukanye, harimo n'ibyo bakunze kwita suite mu ndimi z'amahanga, ndetse byose ukaba ubibona ku giciro cyiza. Muri make ugeze muri Hotel Setandre Kabgayi ahora yifuza kugaruka kubera uburyo yakiranye ubwuzu n'icyubahiro bitasanga ahandi, kuko serivisi dutanga kinyamwuga kandi zishingiye ku ndangagaciro za kizizi. Ku bindi bisobanuro waduhamagara kuri telefone ziri kuri ekara yawe cyangwa ukatwandikira unyuze ku mbuga nkoranyambaga zacu zitandukanye. Hoteli Setandre Kabgayi, imfura mu mahoteli mu gutanga serivisi nziza inoze kandi ku gihe.
Babivuze ukuri kuwiza imyuga acukubiri n'ubushomeri maze agatangira gukirigita ifaranga. Mu ishuri umushumba mwiza TSS niho honyine wakwiga imyuga ku rwego rwa AD, irimo guteka ibizwi nka food and beverage operations, ubudozi cyangwa fashion design.
Abashaka kandi kwiga by'igihe gito namwe twabatekerejeho kuko tubigisha gutunganya imisatsi, ubutetsi n'amahoteli. Ushobora no kwiga mu mezi 3, 6 cyangwa umwaka, ndetse n'ishami ry'ubuhinzi no gutunganya umusaruro. Nimutugane.
Umuryango umushumba mwiza kandi ubafitiye n'ishuri ribanza ry'ikitegerezo rya Ecole Sainte Agnès, guhera mu y'inshuke kugeza usoje abanza.
Ngwino wandikisha umwana wawe hakiri kare kuko twatangiye kwandikisha abashaka gutangirana n'umwaka w'amashuri mu kwezi kwa 9.
Ishuri umushumba mwiza TSS na Ecole Sainte Agnès aherereye i Remera mu Giporoso, ahazwi nko ku Cyamitsingi.
Ku bindi bisobanuro wahamagara kuri nimero mubona kuri ekara zanyu.
Rero ugiye kutubwira impamvu zatumye uhitamo kuza gusaba akazi hano?
Bwa mbere nza gusaba akazi hano nari nabitekerejeho. Mbabarire. Murakoze. Mu by'ukuri numvaga mfite ubushobozi ndetse n'ubushake.
So kutiteguye bihagije ni ukutaryama neza. Rwanda Farm, le paradis du matelas.
Ufite Canal Plus, abafite na Netflix. Niho honyine warebera K-pop Demon Hunters ndetse anime y'inyamamare muri iyi minsi. Mu mazi magari, abasare ba One Piece muri season ya 2 baragashya kugeza ku nkombe. The Polygamist mwese mwakukiye imitima uyireba yicara na karahuri k'amazi hafi aho. The Night Agent season ya 3 nibiturika bidasigwo bihasanze. Kuri Netflix ufite amahitamo y'imyidagaduro y'impande zose z'isi. Netflix iri muri abonema y'ikirenga nta yandi mafaranga wongeyeho. Niba ufite abonema ihutire gukurikiza amabwiriza ubundi ubone igisobanuro cy'uburyohe.
Well, welcome to our international news tonight, starting in Russia. A fresh escalation in Russia and Ukraine war has seen deadly Russian strikes on Kiev, coincide with one of the Ukraine's largest drone offensives against targets deep inside Russia. Russian forces launched attacks on Sunday, the 16th of August, with the strikes hitting several locations, including Kiev. Ukrainian officials reported that the attacks caused the fires and destroyed part of the capital's well-known Petrivka book market. The initial reports linked the strikes to civilian deaths across Ukraine. Attacks Ukraine carried out a major aerial assault on Russia. Moscow detected Ukrainian drones with Russia's defense ministry claiming that 822 drones had been used overnight. Officials said more than 600 drones were directed toward the Moscow region, making the operation one of the largest Ukrainian attacks since the war began. Ukraine has increased on long-range drones to strike Russian military, industrial, and logistic infrastructure far from the have said operations target facilities they believe support Russia's war efforts, including fuel production and logistics. Russia disputed Ukrainian claims and has provided its own image and number of intercepted drones. From Russia and United Kingdom, the British Prime Minister Andy Burnham has reacted to the United Kingdom support for Ukraine and stand with Kiev, despite warning over the use of drones in attacks inside. Speaking, Burnham said the UK would continue supporting Ukraine's defense against Russia's invasion. He described Britain as a reliable ally and rejected any suggestion that Russian threats would change London's position. The comments came after Russia warned Britain could face consequences over that British-made drones had been used by Ukraine in long-range strikes against targets inside Russian territory. Russia's embassy in London accused Britain of deepening its involvement in the conflict and warned that the greater the UK's support for Kiev and the greater the price Moscow said Britain would face. The British government has not confirmed the reports that specific British-made drones were used in the recent strikes. Well, a story from us to an end of our news edition tonight. But before we close, let's go back to the top stories. Some women leaders known as Bamutima Urugo in Muhanga district say they are committed to fulfilling their 2026-2027 target, supporting 8 in every village, helping them to improve their living conditions. According to the National Identification Agency, 8 million people have already been registered, including more than 7 million who have been photographed for the production of their digital identity. In Yamaseke district, young people in Yabitekeri and Shangi sector say unemployment has pushed them to create their own jobs through livestock farming, a way of earning a living and fighting poverty among the youth. In international news, British Minister Andy Burnham confirmed the United Kingdom's unwavering support for Ukraine, saying Britain will continue to stand behind Kiev despite warnings from of British-made drones in attack inside Russia. It's a privilege to be with you very much. My name is Benjamin Kwizera. I wish you a very fantastic night.
PACIS TV, the #1 Catholic television in Africa.
PACIS TV, ta vie renouvelée en Jésus-Christ.
PACIS TV, the #1 Catholic television in Africa.
PACIS TV, ta vie renouvelée en Jésus-Christ.
PACIS TV, the #1 Catholic television in Africa.
PACIS TV, ta vie renouvelée en Jésus-Christ.